Welcome to How to Be a Person, a podcast about life with me, your host, Giuliano Grimaudo. Allison, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. So for anybody, if this is their first episode listening, and Allison, you might not know this either, but the format of the show is literally just we should get to know each other a little bit. I drove Uber for a really, really long time, like over a decade, and I was having all these great conversations in the car with people, and I just kind of like to recreate that. I don't know much about you, and I do that on purpose because I'm trying to recreate that same circumstance of just meeting someone for the first time and kind of digging. I know a little bit, but not a lot. But for anybody listening and for myself, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure, absolutely. And I do have to say that I've had the most amazing conversations with Uber drivers when I've been a customer, a client of theirs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. Absolutely. So I'm Allison Pazuk. I am a recent author of the book Going Bonkers with Cancer, and before that, I was a competitive rider growing up in Bermuda. Moved to Canada, faced a lot of bullying because I had an accent and I, was a little bit, had no idea what snow was because I'm in Canada. Then moved into teaching because I just didn't want to graduate from school. So went into teaching for 27 years, then left that and went into uh, real estate as an investor, doing flipping and flipping houses and whatnot, which was absolutely fantastic until it wasn't.
Okay.
And at that point, my husband and we owed 2.7 mil to hard money lenders. So
Wow.
that's a bit of a hit. It's a bit of a year to navigate that one.
For sure.
Then when we felt like we were getting some sort of control, the universe comes in and goes, you know what? You're just not paying attention to me. All the signs that I've sent you. So I'm going to give you stage 3 ovarian cancer. And that was 2023. So that was the year that I got to know myself and truly how to become a person, which is just absolutely ideal for your podcast. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack in there, but essentially I'm just happy with who I'm still becoming.
Yeah, no, I love that. Okay, so first things first, what is a competitive writer? When you said you did that, I was like, I don't know what that means.
Horses.
I thought you were saying writer, like writing. I was like,
No.
what is competitive writer? Like, what do they do? What are they writing about competitively?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. It's and go. No.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I see. Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
Why I just loved your episode there with Shane with the horses and his analogies there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, so you said you recently wrote this book, right?
Yes.
And
it's been hot off the press 2 weeks. So
for 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
That's it? Wow. Okay, so I'm getting it right at the beginning. That's amazing. So if the book was just published 2 weeks ago, and you said you were diagnosed in 2023, that's just 2 years ago. So tell me about what happened. Like to think like it was only 2 years ago you were diagnosed and now you already have a book coming out. Like tell me what was the timeline like?
It's amazing that you say that it seems to be fast when I feel like that was just a lifetime ago because truly I was a different person. But what was the timeline like? Well, I knew something was wrong and I'm not sure where you are. Are you in the States?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
Okay. I'm in Canada, so I'm in Ontario, Canada. So our healthcare system is fantastic financially. Okay. We pay for it with time. So I knew something was off about December the year before, but wasn't officially diagnosed. And it was almost like an accidental diagnosis in March. So that took a little bit of time. And by then, me being me, it was... oh, okay, we've done the almost bankruptcy thing, so let's do the cancer thing. Sure. So it was just it wasn't horrific in terms of Hollywood there wasn't tears and, tantrums or anything like that. It was more like, okay, how do we overcome this?
Mm.
And spent a ton of time researching. Amazon was delivering to the house every day. I had stacks of books beside me. And the main reason was I was a math teacher when I
Okay.
was teaching. So the oncologists that were saying, statistically, this is not good.
Mm.
Statistically, this will come back. And I'm like, yeah, but what kind of statistics?
Mm.
And what about the outliers? What do the outliers do?
Yeah.
And so I was desperately trying to find outliers. Um, and then after finding a few, resources between YouTube and books that people had written, um, I started doing exactly what they were doing.
Okay.
And it was pretty cold turkey. So it was no caffeine. So we got a teacher now with no caffeine.
No
Um,
caffeine?
no caffeine,
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
no dairy, no sugar, no refined flour.
Mm.
So it's not really a lot left, and only
Yeah.
2 eggs a week.
Mm.
So there's not a lot left. But cold turkey, that's what I did. And I just felt so much more in control and
Mm.
went on a deep dive between uh, what can I do? How can I basically blaze my own path between the traditional system of conventional medicine, poison, cut, and burn. That's the sort of what they do. Um, and also the more holistic Eastern side.
Okay.
And I looked at energy healers. I looked at um, nutrition, like high dose vitamin C, which is what I did. I still do. Um, there were just so many things that I ended up taking on, and spiritually,
Yeah.
meditation. Started with faith, and that was a whole accident in and of itself. When
Mm.
I get awoken in the middle of the night to some really loud booming voice telling me that my miracle has been granted. So that was like, maybe there's something to this faith thing. I should look into it a little more. So
Interesting.
that was essentially the beginning part of 2023, middle part. I knew that I would be fine. I am not a statistic. I never said that I had cancer.
Mm.
I said I was diagnosed with cancer. I'd never said I was a cancer patient. I didn't take on that identity at all.
Mm.
It was a redirection. Something's wrong. How do I fix it? So went through that. Then by September, I was supposed to have surgery, and I knew that there would be nothing left. And the surgeon said, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, that's not what happens, but we still need to do surgery.
Mm.
So anyway, she went in, she did the surgery, and found nothing. So there was no tumor, there was
Yeah.
nothing there. The biopsy that they did on everything they took out showed nothing.
Wow.
So it was pretty miraculous, but I knew. And I mean, I planned my 110th birthday, which is in 54 years from now. So,
Mm.
I'm just in the middle of my life. This is what's going to be amazing. I did have someone challenge me to write a book the year before all of this.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Sharon Lecter, but she co-wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. She wrote with Napoleon Hill's foundation, Outwitting the Devil, Think and Grow Rich for Women.
Wow.
So anyway, she's kind of a big deal. She's a
Yeah.
big bestseller. And she said to me, the next time I see you, I want to see a manuscript. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what to write on. Then cancer came, and I went, now I know what to write on.
Interesting.
So it was 2024, essentially, was the writing year. I finished it December of 24. And then from December last year till now, it's been, let's get it edited and published. And man, that was a learning curve.
Wow. Okay. So, so I'm really interested to hear a little bit more about like what you did. And I'm sure other people are too, right? If they're listening, they're probably like, okay, I know you shared some things, but it's like, but hold on a second, right? Most people, when they get cancer, it's just like what the doctor was like, okay, that's not how it works. Like, well, don't worry, we're going to open you up and we'll pull it out. Like, you do whatever, holistic stuff you want to do and believe whatever you want to believe, but we're going to, this isn't just going to go away. But it did, which is what's so crazy about it. And I feel like that's not your story isn't the first I've heard of that. Okay. Like there is a very conventional path that people take when they are diagnosed with cancer, and it is not good. And it most of the time does not end well either. And then I hear of other people doing different things, and it's like, oh yeah, it just was gone. And the doctor's like, well, that's crazy. It's just a fluke. Right. But that just seems like everyone who's had that happen, the doctors just go, oh, well, it was just a fluke. And I'm like, okay, well, how many flukes are there going to be of people curing themselves of cancer? So what I'm curious of, because you said you kind of did like a combination of both, what did that? And I know you shared a little bit already, but I'm just curious to know a little bit more detail about what specifically that looked like.
Sure. What it looked like was meditation in the morning.
Okay.
I found Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and absolutely loved him. I resonated with him. He started talking about quantum physics, and
Yeah.
that just, so I'm still going down that wormhole.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the visualization. So that was sort of the morning. Every morning I would do this. And then I ended up with I was doing chemo.
Okay.
So I did do chemo. At the same time, I was doing high dose vitamin C. So that's an intravenous.
Okay.
And it's 50 grams of vitamin C every infusion. So it's a massive amount that is hitting me. And this is the tricky part. If any of your listeners decide to Google it, and they will probably come up with the Mayo Clinic trial on vitamin C.
Okay.
The problem with that one is, and this is where oncologists don't like it, is the Mayo Clinic did it orally. They didn't do it by intravenous. You cannot have that much vitamin C orally. You will be sick. So their trial, they stopped it after 2 months. So then they said, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, but if you do any research of survivors, most of them will be doing high dose vitamin C.
Interesting.
Mistletoe was another one I looked into with intravenous. I did not do it. For some reason, I went, I don't think that's right for me.
Okay.
So again, it was diet. So no sugar, no dairy, no refined flour, limited fruit, essentially a whole foods diet.
Yeah.
No cheese and limited eggs. So I followed that, was doing chemotherapy. And the other big thing is fasting. So fasting really and truly is such an incredible way for your body to heal. Look up fasting. It's, or buy my book. I talk about it in there too,
we can talk about fasting. I've done a lot of fasting myself. I want to talk about that. What I'm curious of, well, a couple things I wanted to point out. First of all, I feel like when you mentioned you said mistletoe, was it? So when you mentioned that and you were like, I just kind of was like, yeah, I don't feel like that's right for me. What it made me think of was like the path that you took was like you said, it was kind of a combination of Western and Eastern, right? And I guess my point is that I think more people need to listen to themselves about what they feel is right for them, right? And for you, when you pointed out the mistletoe thing, it made me think of that point specifically, because I know that this was my experience growing up, and it probably is the case for other people, is that you just do what the doctor tells you, right? Like you just assume the doctor knows best. I didn't go to medical school. They did. So like they know what's best. And not to discount, right, what they bring to the table. But we also have a certain amount of knowing just within us as people, right? Separate from whatever expertise anyone has. Just like in that moment, right? You were doing kind of a more holistic route, but even in that moment, you said, well, that doesn't actually feel right for me. And I think that that feeling, just like I'm saying, okay, you don't want to discount the expertise that a doctor brings to the table. I think a lot of times people discount that inner knowing that they have, that they bring to the table, when they're making a decision. And it can really be just like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't feel right about it, but like, I don't know anything about this. And they're the one who's telling me I should just listen to them. But ultimately, I mean, would you agree with this, that if you had just done what they told you, like, do you think you would be where you are right now?
That's a tough one to answer. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't. I don't think I would be as strong as I am right now, for sure. I think there would be a lot of residual effects. And you are 100% right that we all have an inner knowing. When someone says they have a gut feeling, that's actually a thing. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you know that when you're being developed, your brain and your gut are almost at the same time. They separate. So
Yeah.
it is your gut brain. And yeah, that's what I really discovered that year, was who I was and how to listen to myself.
Mm.
Have the confidence that I don't need the validation of other people. And you're right, so many of us will say, "Oh, they've got a white lab coat. Yep,
Mm.
yes sir, I'll do whatever you say." And I agree, doctors are critical. There's no way I would diss them. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
changed what I did at that time with the knowledge that I had. They're all doing the best they can with what they know. They
Yep.
want the best for you, and they're giving you their best. However, uh, Western medicine, if you research it, that had some major changes back in the Rockefeller Carnegie days, and
Mm.
it changed it from helping to more of a money making business,
Yeah.
again through no fault of the doctors. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to ask the question, if what do you want to breathe? Well, yes. Do you want to breathe in or out? What are you talking about? I want to do both. Well, that's the magic. It's the and. So that's the sacred and. It's the conventional and the holistic that
Mm.
together come together, um, to help yourself. But you have to listen to yourself. I didn't do 2 rounds of chemo that they wanted me to. I said, no, I'm done. I don't need it anymore.
You did the
So
one round.
I did, actually, I did 5 rounds.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was 6. No, 5. 5 or 6. I can't remember.
Okay. No worries.
And they wanted me to do 2 more.
Mm.
And I just didn't feel like it was right for me. It was going to do more long term damage.
Mm.
So I surrendered. That was another thing that I became really fond of, and I still do, is that when I'm faced with a major decision, instead of me trying to figure out the how can I do this? What's the outcome? And start stressing over it, it's more of, you know what? The right path will happen. And whichever
Mm.
choice I make, I need to make it right.
Mm.
So I said, I'm going to leave this up to my body. And if my blood work is showing that my white blood cells are too low, my neutrophils are too low, then I'm done.
Mm.
And that's what happened. So I was done.
I love that. Yeah, I was just talking to my dad actually yesterday. There's this phrase that I heard recently. The how is not for now, and it reminds me exactly of what you said.
That's
Right?
good.
It's
I like
like, instead of trying to figure it out. Well, see, this is the thing. Okay, this is something that I've done for a very long time. Is always try to like make a plan. Right? You're always trying to plan for what's going to happen. You're like, okay, but if I do this, then I can do this, and then that. And like the longer you live, the more you realize like that just like literally nothing ever goes according to plan. Ever. And I'm not saying in a bad way. Sometimes it's in a great way that it doesn't go according to plan, but it never does. Like, because ultimately you obviously you can't predict the future, right? You don't know what's going to happen. And so trying to plan, for the future is like trying to draw a map of a place you've never been before, right? You haven't been there. You don't know what's going to be there. So you can guess, but you have no idea. And so ultimately the point is to equip yourself and essentially equip yourself now, right? Focus on now, because eventually in the future you'll be there and it will be now in that future moment, and then you can make your decisions.
yeah.
Um, there was something you said while we were just talking there that I thought was important. Oh yeah, when you were talking about the Rockefeller Carnegie thing. So and I feel like you could probably agree with this because like you said, you're a real estate investor. I think making money is great. Okay. Like I love making money. It's fantastic. At the same time, that doesn't mean that like I think everything should be capitalized on, and it doesn't mean that we should just walk around, pretending like that's not happening. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a bad thing. It's just we have to understand that. Like this is the thing. Like if you go to the doctor and you just view it as, hey, this person's just while the doctor themselves, right, just cares about you and wants the best for you. But not understanding that, hello, this is a business. Like it's a place of business you're walking into. It is, and the doctor can be as well intentioned as they want to be, but it is still a business. It's not just, it doesn't just exist because out of the goodness of someone's heart. Everyone there is there to make money. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that's not a bad thing. You just have to be aware of it, right? You have to be aware that there are incentives for everyone involved. And it doesn't make them bad. It just makes you informed when you know it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when it comes to making decisions, especially when it comes to medical decisions, you have to weigh that part of it. Like, yes, okay, I trust that they're giving me the best that they know that's possible, but also just like anything else in life, they're bringing a certain bias to it, right? There's going to be a slant to it because they're incentivized to do this. And again, not necessarily the individual doctors sometimes, but just in general as a business, the more the more I come here, the more products they sell me, the more money they make, right? That's what it is. Like medications, you pay for medications, okay? Like they're not free. And it's like the more medication they give you, the more medications you pay for, the more money they make.
That's
So
right.
I think, like I said, none of this is saying that it's bad. It's just an awareness that you have to have going into it, which I feel like you set a really good example of because you're like, hey, I am definitely going to use this because it's very beneficial to me, but also I'm done. Like I've reached the end here. Like I don't need more chemo. Thank you. Like I will not keep going, even though it will make you more money. Like that's good for you, but like it's not the right decision for me right now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just feel like you set a really good example of that. I think it's
Yeah.
important for people to see that point.
And even along with that, and this is where you have to tread a fine line, and this is what I was struggling with in the book, is I don't want it to make it sound like it's a conspiracy theory, because it
Mm-hmm.
absolutely isn't. Like
Exactly.
my doctors are very much part of my team,
Yes.
and love them, but they are not trained in diet. They're not trained in
Mm-hmm.
the holistic world. And the pharmaceutical saying is you've got a pill for an ill. They make
Mm.
money when you're sick.
Yeah.
So, and a cancer patient, the last stats I saw was the big pharmaceutical companies, not the doctor's office. They're making 150,000 on every single cancer patient. That's a lot of money. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the
That's more than most
medication.
people make in a year.
Yeah, exactly. A lot more. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Like three times, probably, if not 4 or 5 times the average.
Absolutely. I mean, the medicine that I'm now on for maintenance for the next couple of years, because they said, it's going to come back. So sure, I'm
Yeah.
taking this. I'm on a mild dose. I downgrade it, but
Yeah. I get it.
it's $5,500 a month for one pill a day.
What?
I was supposed to be taking three.
Oh, my gosh. What?
Yeah, yeah. And there's
Holy
absolutely
cow.
no documentation that I need it.
Mm.
But they said statistically you should take it. So I'm still every day I'm watching my blood, I'm watching everything just to see if I'm going to react to it or not. But
See, so this
it's
is the
heavy.
thing, right? This is the thing. Like this is why you have to make a decision that's right for you, that feels right for you, because ultimately, like, gosh, it's so hard, right? Because I understand it, right? The doctor is like the mechanic, right? You take your car to the mechanic, you're like, I don't know what's going on with the car. I don't know anything about engines. I don't know anything about transmissions. Like, you just have to trust them, right? You're like, if they tell me this is wrong, okay, fine, I guess, like, fix it. But
Mm-hmm.
also, same thing, like when you take your car to the mechanic, if they're like, that's going to be $3,000. I'm like, okay, right? And I send a couple text messages, and someone's like, that shouldn't cost more than like 300. It's like, oh, really? Oh, damn. Okay. Maybe I need to just, yeah, thanks for taking a look. I'm going to take it somewhere else. Right. Like it's the same thing when you go to the doctor, but it's also just a really similar dynamic where you're like, you don't know, you
Mm-hmm.
are not experienced enough in this. And so it can feel really hard to make a decision about like what's right for you. But also it's, to me, what's worse about the medical system, and again, this is not actually a criticism of it, just like you said, I think it's extremely valuable. Um, but what's difficult about it is that it's not just a car, right? It's not like, oh, well, if they, took advantage of me, oh, well, the car breaks down, whatever. This is your life. Like it is your being, right? Like your existence, like everything is on the line. And I think that's part of the problem, is that like, it's hard to make a decision in that moment because you want to make the decision that's right for you, but you also don't know enough. And so you're kind of like, well, yeah, but also I don't want to die. And if they're telling me like, hey, I need this thing, whether or not they have proof or not, like they're telling me I need it, it's like, well, damn, I mean, I guess I better pay up because I want to live.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I will say that we mentioned business. So think about CEOs of businesses. They make decisions for their business's best interest. So if someone came in off the street and said, you know what, there's this widget that we've done tests on, and it will increase your profit. It's the best thing you can do for your business. The CEO is not going to implement that until they've done the research, they've looked at the data, they've looked at the background, and they determine that it will be right for their business, for their employees, for their customers. They weigh all of that. Why don't we do that for our healing? Why don't we do that with our body? So that's one thing that we need to become, is the CEO of our health.
Mm.
And if you think of it that way, that, in a business sense, the founder, the CEO, they're not going to make instant decisions. You do not need to make instant decisions unless, of course, you're in the ER, you're missing a limb, something like that. Then yes. But you don't. You can take time to understand, and it is critical in your health journey, be it cancer or anything else, that you understand. You do the research, you ask the questions, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
Confronting someone with a medical degree and all their degrees hanging on the wall and go, yeah, but are you sure? Because I found this study. And so I used to do that a lot until, funny story, at the very end, the medical oncologist, she said to me, okay, here's your results. You're doing phenomenally well. I don't know why. Ask your naturopath. She literally said that. And I went, all right, I'm making progress here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm opening her eyes.
Wow. Yeah. Again, it's like what we were talking about before. I don't think that I don't discount what doctors do. I think they do a lot of amazing stuff. But like to me, what I envision it is almost like, if you go back to the mechanic thing, like if you bring your car to a mechanic, but like, let's say it's a transmission shop and you're having an issue with, your suspension, like there is a difference, right? And ultimately the entire body is made up of different things. And I feel like doctors, like the typical Western medical doctors, it's like their specialty is in transmissions, right? And it's one of those things where like your entire body is not just a transmission, it's all these other things. And so like understand that like what doctors know, they can share like to the best of their knowledge what they know about, but there are things they don't know, and that's just simply the case. Like that's it. Like, and it's not a criticism of anything. It's literally just, hey, they just don't know everything. Just like you mentioned about nutrition, nutrition, but yeah, that's the point. One thing I wanted to talk to you about was because you had mentioned it before, and I'm a big proponent of this myself, is fasting. I was curious what that looked like for you through this process, and like how you feel about fasting.
Fasting was critical in my healing. So
Okay.
When you dive into what happens when you fast, what your body can do, it is mind blowing. In and around chemo infusions, so chemotherapy infusions, if your body is not digesting food, it can then focus on whatever else is going on in the body. So,
Mm.
as you know, if you've been fasting, that after I think it's 24 hours, the autophagy really kicks in.
Mm.
So it goes around and it's looking for disease cells. It's shoving it out. It's sending it through your liver and that type of thing. So when you get the chemotherapy at the same time, the efficacy of those drugs is increased by hundreds and hundreds of times because your body can go, oh, yay,
Mm.
here comes the SWAT team to help me out here.
Mm.
Instead of me just trying to, body's going in and looking at these disease cells and how can I clean it? The infusion is coming in, knocking out those cancer cells without, I was going to say something different. Never mind, ignore that part.
No worries.
Back the train up on that one. So yeah, the chemo drugs will come in and kill more of those cancer cells.
Interesting.
The autophagy just clears them all out. And I had very few side effects. Very few.
Really?
Like, I had aching joints, but that's it.
You're saying from the chemotherapy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I did lose my hair. So that
Okay.
I found out after the fact that I could have done cold capping, but I didn't find that out till the second chemo infusion, but it was too late by then. But
interesting.
And then, so I would do 72 hours around my infusion. So
Yeah,
the
that's
day
what I was
before, the
curious.
day of, and the day after.
Mm.
And when you get to 72, you get stem cell production. So your body is creating stem cells. It's just so healthy for you.
Mm.
So I did that every time. Now, breaking fasts were something that I really struggled with trying to find information on.
Mm.
You know, when you're breaking a fast, you can't just go and scarf down a meal. You have to introduce food slowly because your digestive tract is being empty for a few days. So usually recommended is starting with bone broth. So I have to say that right now, bone broth is an absolute no-go. I won't go near it. It just
Really?
reminds me of chemo. I cannot do it. It's just
I see. I
the
see.
trauma, I suppose, of
Yeah.
of
Your brain
the
just associates it with that. Yeah.
the infusion. So I can't do it. I still do. In actual fact, I did just a short 24-hour fast last week. I'm starting to get other people around me to do it as well.
Mm.
I like to do at least two 24-hour and a 48 in a month.
Mm.
So I like to do that. I can't say I definitely do every month. I'm still working on the mental around it because I still associate it with, oh, you're sick, you're going to get an infusion. So I'm working on changing that mindset around it because I just know how healthy it is. I'm not giving up on that.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
do intermittent fasting though.
Oh, you do? Okay. Like on a daily basis or what?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. There was this book a little while back. It was called Fast Like a Girl.
Yes.
And I was looking that up because I've done a ton of fasting, but I've heard that like it's different for women. And I saw that book and I was like, oh, I'm interested. So if for any women listening, do you have any like tips? Because obviously if typical intermittent fasting is just like you have a window of eating every day and you can make it whatever you want it to be. And sometimes it's, you have a 12 hours of not eating, 14, 16, 18, just depends on what you want to do. But if you have any tips for women.
Sure. And for all the women out there, guess what? We're not men. And
yeah,
the medical society and everything, they only included men in their trials.
Yeah.
Up until I think it was like late 90s, like 96, 99, they went, hey, maybe we should include women. And what's interesting with the fasting is that men replace their hormones once every 24 hours. Women, it takes 30 days. We've got estrogen, progesterone, and there's another one I can't think of right now. So because of that, our cycles, our monthly cycles, also line up with the moon and the moon cycles. So there's actual scientific data that now goes along with that. It's not just kind of woo-woo. So that book, definitely Fast Like a Girl with Mindy Peltz. She is the guru on it. Highly recommend you grab her book.
So you've read it then?
It's downstairs. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
And she's coming out with another one as well. So again, get that one.
Cool. Yeah, I've done I have done intermittent fasting for a very long time now. I don't do it now, like really at all, but I mean, I just have dabbled with it for a long
Mhm.
time, is what I'm saying. And fasting has always come really easy to me, even with the intermittent fasting. Like when there were a lot of people who were like, "What, 16 hours?" I'm like, I don't know, I just felt great. Like I would do
Mhm.
16 hours every day, and it was not a problem at all. Um, but then I've done some more extended fasts because I heard about like just long term health benefits. There was this reel I saw one time where basically they were saying like, here I am just like spouting off random stuff. I don't remember the exact numbers or the details, but it was essentially like just doing one extended fast in your life can like decrease your all cause mortality risk or something like that, right? Everything from like heart attacks to cancer to everything, like it just
Mhm.
decreases it. And when I heard that, I was like, well, I've done a lot of it, intermittent fasting. I would like to do an extended fast because I think I could probably do it, and it probably wouldn't be that difficult, and it would, provide me with some sort of long term benefits. So last year I was on a retreat in Sedona, and it was kind of like a yoga retreat
Hmm.
that I was invited to, and I took that opportunity to do this longer fast. And what I did was 99 hours.
Wow.
So I went from, it was like Thursday night and then to Monday morning, basically. And it was really cool. Like it was a really interesting experience also because I didn't stop myself from doing like what we were doing there, like which we went on hikes and stuff. And like I remember I was like 50 hours in and I was on this, we were doing this really hard hike and I was like, this is crazy. But it was a really cool experience. And I remember see, when you talk about breaking a fast, I've had, because I've posted about the fasting I've done and I've posted the meals that I've broken my fast with before. And I know a lot of people have been like very critical of like what I've broken my fast with because, it's like you're supposed to have bone broth or whatever. And I'm like, I literally have never done that. Like I literally just eat a normal meal. And I've been fine. And I don't know what the difference, right? It's kind of like what you said. There really isn't a ton of information on it. And like, I haven't had any like adverse effects from doing that. So I just eat whatever I want. I try to make it a little bit healthier, which I can tell you what it is, but that was what I did. Okay. And the first time I ate after that, like 99 hours, I literally like, there were like tears in my eyes because I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize how much I appreciate food.
But
Um,
did you not find that like any cravings that you would have had before, they went away?
yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't
Well,
have to eat so much anymore. And
yes. So here's what was interesting to me. Okay. I did that one that was 99 hours and it was hard. But also like I was at this retreat and we were all staying at this one house and I told everyone what I was doing. And so, they had like a chef there who was cooking for everyone at the retreat and I wasn't eating. But I actually felt like that was helpful because everyone knew that I
yeah,
was fasting. And so I couldn't just like eat, right? You know what I mean? I couldn't like break down and eat. And also there wasn't just like food everywhere. It was kind of like had these meals prepared. And it was like, if I don't eat this, it's not like I'm going to eat it. Like it's not here anymore, you
yeah.
know? Um, so I did that and I really liked it. I felt like it definitely curbed my appetite. Like going forward from there, I didn't have as much of an appetite. Um, but I wanted to do it again this year, and I've done it twice again. And the reason was because I came across another reel where this guy was talking about fasting, and basically he was breaking down at each hour, not every hour, but you know what I mean? Like the benchmarks, like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, everything that happens. Okay. And he was saying that like right around 100 hours, there's this like, this surge of stem cells like released in your body or whatever. And when he said that, I was like, okay, that's hilarious because I literally went up to 99 hours last time. And I'm like, I just was short of this 100-hour thing supposedly. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do it again. And I've done it twice this year. And I don't remember exactly how many hours. It was probably around, each time it was right around 115. And so it was just short of 5 days. And I did notice a difference this time when I did that. For me, because when you mentioned the cravings, for me, the first time I did that 4 day fast, that 99 hours, I felt like I didn't have as much of an appetite, but I did not notice a difference in my cravings. When I did these ones where I surpassed the 100 hours, I did notice a difference. Like I was not craving the same food afterwards. It was like I probably went a month before I had any form of fast food, whereas I was eating out probably 2 to 4 times a week before that. And it was not because I was trying not to have fast food. I just had no desire. I did this fast and I just was like, yeah, I don't even want that stuff anymore. I was like craving like Greek yogurt and like fruit and just like normal healthy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's incredible. What I would recommend, I was just attempting to look it up here, is the app Easy Fast. And what it does is you put in whenever you want to do your fast, how long you want to do it, but it tells you all those benchmarks. So I was just
Mm.
attempting to look it up, and I can't find it really quickly
Yeah,
and
no
pay
worries, no
attention at the same
worries.
time. But it's
No, love
it's
that.
amazing when you're doing it. But as you
Mm.
said, you need that community to keep you accountable,
Mm.
because you've got you are your own best salesperson. So you've got this voice inside of you going, "Oh, I'm hungry.
It's
Oh, I
okay.
feel weak. It's okay. You did a good job." And you've got this voice, so being able to shut that ego off, shut that voice up, between sparkling water, go for a walk,
Mm.
make sure it's unflavored. There's nothing in that sparkling water. Uh, but it helps to fill you, give you that full feeling
Yeah.
to be able to get you through. But community is essential when you start
Mm.
telling people.
Yeah, for sure. I think for anyone doing like an extended fast, just to be clear, like I'm not going to make a recommendation for it because I've heard that it can be dangerous, but I just pushed because for me, I was like, I think I can do this. And one thing I did do was take electrolyte tablets,
Yes.
because you're supposed to be getting electrolytes. And so I just bought these like tablets off of Amazon. They're just like a couple little pills and I would just have those every day. But other than that, it was literally just water. And it was honestly transformative. Like doing those ones that were like a that surpassed 100 hours when I got to like about 115 or something like that. Um, it was like, I would definitely say it was like a turning point this year for me. It changed like the amount of food I eat, but also like the cravings that I have. And I think for anyone, like it can really be like, it puts things in perspective too. I think you start to realize like, oh, most of the time when I'm eating, it's just a craving. It's not actually hunger because you
Yeah.
don't really know what hunger is until you go,
Yeah.
48, 72, 96 hours without eating. And then you go, oh, this is hunger. This is what
Yeah.
hunger is.
Yeah. I will say that once, for me, that the first day is the worst, like getting through the 12
Yeah.
hours, the 24 hours, that is the worst. But then I'm not hungry anymore. Like,
Yep.
I really am not.
Yeah.
So do make sure, if you are doing electrolyte tablets and that sort of thing, that you check to make sure that they're not going to spike your blood sugar and break your fast,
Mm,
because they do have electrolyte that has sugar in it, and that will break
mm,
your fast. So
yeah. Yeah.
just
Don't
be
do that.
warned for those people doing that, any of your listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again,
Um,
it comes back to intuition, right? It comes back to what's right for me. If
mhm.
someone decides after listening to this, heck, if you guys can do longer fast, then I'm going to do it too.
Mm,
You got to listen, because it's not right for everybody. And
yeah.
women in particular, it's different times of the months as when
Yes.
it's best for you.
Yes. I have a question. Is your book more of like your story? Is it like you telling your story of what happened?
My book is a bit of an anomaly. It's kind of a hybrid. It's the book that I was looking for.
Mm,
So it's got my story intermixed with the research that I've done.
mm,
So it's called a prescriptive nonfiction,
mm.
uh, is what it is. But the people that I essentially, it's as if you're sitting down with a friend, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is what happened. This is what I went through. Here's the research that I did. And it's mind blowing when you start looking into the different, just as we've touched on, but the research and what have you. So my book is interfused with the research. The bibliography in the back is massive. So all of
Mm.
the research that I've done, connections for people, if they want to go farther with that research.
I love that. I'm not that type of person, so I love people who are who actually will do the research and just tell me what it says because I'm not the type of person to do it. So no, this I'm sure your book is like an amazing resource. I'm definitely gonna have to get a copy. Um, I was going to ask you, when you said that you went and you cut out dairy and you cut out sugar and you cut out all those things, do you still eat that way, or you just did it while you were doing treatment?
I do drink coffee. I drink espresso, but it's got to be the good coffee. It's not, commercial coffee. It's got to be the organic, mold free.
Mm,
So I have that at home once a day. Uh, Dairy, I have to admit, I recognize that it causes inflammation. I see it in myself when I have cheese, but I love cheese. So I do have it. If I have too much, I will throw in a fast to help my body clean up.
mm,
No sugar. I at all costs, I will avoid adding, having any kind of refined sugar.
mm,
When I was going through the cancer journey, I would be a stickler. So if we were at a restaurant, I would say, your balsamic vinaigrette on the salad, can you go check if there's sugar in it? I mean, you wouldn't think balsamic vinaigrette, there'd be sugar. Guess what? There's sugar in it.
mm.
So I would be super anal about it when I was at
Yeah.
restaurants. Now I'm like, okay, if there's a tiny bit in there, my body can handle a little bit.
I see. I see. Yeah, no, I was curious about that because I can imagine, like, you're doing that to, like, you're in the middle of trying to cure yourself, and so you're doing those things. I can imagine being like, oh no, if I go back to consuming these things, is it going to put me back on that
Yeah,
path? But so it's kind of like a mix, or not a mix, more like a hybrid, right? Like you said, you're, for the most part, there's a lot of those diet changes that you've adapted, but also you're not as strict.
correct. I do want to live,
Yeah.
but most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, I do still follow those rules.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. And like you say, having those thoughts of, well, if I start eating this way, will it come back? And I think that will always be there. I don't think that'll
Yeah.
ever go away.
Yeah.
Uh, but eating whole food, so whole food diet, rather just stay away from the ultra processed. If you can just do whole food, if you can afford organic, go organic, which is kind of sad, that real food is more expensive than processed food, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Uh, but follow that diet, and it will definitely help you. And the one statement that I heard that I really really like is, when you fast or when you eat properly, you don't know what diseases you're preventing in the future.
Mm. So true. It's a good point. I mean, that's exactly right. When I said, I'm going to do this fast because I heard there's long-term benefits. It's a
Yeah,
good point. It's
yeah.
like, this is something like, both of my parents have had heart attacks,
Mm.
and my dad has had multiple heart attacks. So for me, it's like, when I heard, that'll lower the risk. It's such a good point. Like, you don't know what you're preventing. Like, I could have potentially prevented a random heart attack that could
Yeah,
have been scary and like almost died and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, cool. Just because that one week I did that fast or whatever,
yeah.
or even just like you said, you're making a, habit change about the food you eat
Mhm.
for an extended period of time. Yeah, no, it's a great point. Great point.
Yeah.
Allison, I really, really appreciate you coming on today. And I'm definitely going to get a copy of your book. And I think other people should as well. If someone wants to connect with you, or if they just want to get your book, how would they do so?
Best way is to go to my website, so Allison Pazuk, PAZUK.com. And on there, I've got blogs that I do. There's my book is on there. The podcast will be on there. So there's lots of information, and I'm coming up with more, just different resources for people to connect and stay healthy and sort of overcome the chaos that is cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. Allison, thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review or share it with someone who'd appreciate it. For everything I have to offer, visit howtobeaperson.co.